Alright, welcome everybody to this first advanced rigging tutorial. In this first topic, we will learn how to set up your workspace to accommodate your advanced rig. Now, I have Harmony open right here. I'm just going to go and create a new scene. So just create scene. And under here, as we can see at the moment, I have my my workspace toolbar, which is right here. That shows the compositing workspace. Now, if you guys don't have that toolbar, you can easily go and get it from the Windows menu under toolbars. And I have workspace right here. So everything above this little line right here represents different toolbars that you can get. And those three last ones represent toolbars that you get inside specific views, such as the node, camera, and timeline views. Now, so as I was saying, under here I have the compositing workspace active. If I click on this arrow, you can see I have a multitude of options to choose from. But if I want to create my own custom workspace for my rig, what I could do is go into this little button that is right next to it called the Workspace Manager. I'm going to click on this and it opens up another window. So I have your workspaces here. It contains animating, compositing, default, Gene, which is my current workspace that I have created for myself, and I have hand-drawn and scripting. These are my available workspaces. As you can see, some of these were not inside the list. The list is actually going to be listed under the toolbar here. So I can come and bring some of these over to this side if I want, but I can also decide to keep them over here hidden and not necessarily inside the list, because it could get pretty long if I have a different custom workspace for every single task that I might want to do. Now for our rigging workspace, we're going to be creating a new one. So as you can see on here, I have several different options to choose from. I thought compositing was a pretty good way to start from scratch. So I have a few views in there that I'm going to use for rigging. So let's start off by selecting compositing. And at the bottom of this view, I have a little plus sign and a little minus sign right here. So minus is delete the selected workspace. We're not going to want to do that at this time. We're going to use the plus sign, that is duplicate the selected workspace. So instead of going to change our current workspace that is compositing, we are going to create a new one based on that setting. So I'm going to click the plus button, and this creates compositing 2. Now I can come and rename this by using the rename button here. So let's rename this my rig right here and press enter. So I have the my rig workspace, and if I click on OK, I will not see it here. Remember, you need to come and bring it over to the toolbar side using the arrows right here. So add the workspace in the toolbar, and now it's listed here, so I can just press OK. So now I can come and get this workspace from my selection up here. I'm going to click on it, and then it reloads my different workspace. And from here, now I can start customizing it in any way that I like. And this will be saved when I save my scene, and I will be able to reuse it later on. So inside of Harmony, we have two major different types of things that we want to pay attention to when customizing our workspace. We have views, which are essentially these things that are inside the red circle. So this is one view. I have another one here, and one at the very bottom. And we also have toolbars, which are every little things that contain tools right here. I have some over on the side, I have some at the top right here, These are all toolbars, everything that has this little gray rectangle above it. And this is actually one of the ways that we could reposition some toolbars using that little gray rectangle. If I wanted to bring my drawing tools, this is the drawing tools toolbar. If I wanted to bring it over to the side, as you can see, if I grab that rectangle, I can come and position it wherever this blue rectangle is taking place. So once you have it in the position that you want, you can let go and it will go and stay in that position. I could do the same thing if I wanted to bring my drawing layers over here. If I wanted to bring my advanced animation tools over here as well, this could come in quite handy. So this is pretty much how you would come and reposition toolbars. At the moment, if I go back to my Windows toolbars menu, you could come and select the ones that you would like to have. If they're not already active, you can come and bring them over here by just selecting them from this menu. At the moment, I will keep it like this. I have the playback option active, file, edit, advanced animation. I have the display toolbar, the tools, the art layers, and the workspace. And I have all three of my view toolbars active. Now, if we go to our different views, these are going to be the 4 different frames that we have in here. So up here I have my camera toolbar that is by itself. If I had multiple tabs inside here, this would mean that I have multiple views available inside the same frame. So as I have here, I have the node view, perspective view, the function view. These are mostly used in compositing, so I'm not necessarily going to need them. So if I want to get rid of the function view, for instance, inside each frame of the views, at the upper right corner, I have a little X and a little plus sign right here. The plus allows me to add one of my different views, which are all listed here. And the X, as you probably guessed it already, allows me to remove a view. So I could select my perspective view, close it, and I could bring it back just as easily by pressing on the plus sign. So for the moment, I'll just keep the node view active, since this is something that we will be using a lot in rigging. And I have my layer properties here. I'm going to close the top view and keep the tool properties. I'll keep the library as well and the layer properties. And I'm going to go over to my last view. As you can see, if I position my mouse over here, I can come and make these bigger or smaller depending on what I need. I'm going to come and close the side view. And something that I might need quite often in rigging is the color view, because we're going to need to draw and trace and paint that artwork. So if I click on the plus sign, I can use color. I'm going to come and add it here, but I'll show you after how to come and reposition it. It's essentially pretty close to what we get from repositioning the toolbars. So I've added the color. I can come and add the coordinates and control point view, which we will be using a little bit later on. So I have my node library, I have my timeline. Here you can see that they're starting to get a bit close to each other. So tool properties is often one that I want to keep open at all times without having to switch through the tabs. So if I want to bring it over here, for instance, I can come and grab the tab, and as you can see, if I reposition it in certain ways, it shows me where exactly it's going to get positioned. If I wanted to bring it over to another tab instead of closing and adding it again, I could also come and add it to a tab that I already have inside one of my frame views. So I'm going to leave it here and drop it. And then I could come and take the color view as well and drop it over here. Again, this is just my preferences. You guys can afterwards come and modify them and place them in any way that you'd like. And I'm going to bring my node view over here because I don't want to have too many views, because at some point it starts to get a little bit distracting. I always want to try and keep my camera view on because this is where my character is going to be. I'll have my tool properties here that change whenever I select a new type of tool. I've got my color, my node view. Under here I have some useful little informations that I have in here. I'm not going to use the timeline that much, but it will be useful definitely for creating our rig, but it doesn't necessarily need to be this big. So maybe what I'd want to do is bring my node library over here and then bring it back to separate the timeline. As you can see, if I drag it over here, it's going to take this space, and I let go. So you guys feel free to customize your workspace in any way that you like. I will list the windows, the different views and toolbars that are useful for creating your advanced rig inside of the exercise topic, and I will see you guys in the next step.